Story 1. The Vanishing Magician's Enigma. The atmosphere in the Grand Theater was electric, the anticipation palpable as the audience settled into their seats. The renowned magician Alexander Blackwood was about to unveil his greatest performance yet. I watched from the shadows, a detective intrigued by the enigmatic artist. Blackwood had a way of captivating his audience, leaving them spellbound by his illusions. As the curtains rose, a hush fell over the crowd. Blackwood, dressed in his signature dark attire, stepped onto the stage with an air of mystique. He began with a series of elegant card tricks, manipulating the deck with finesse that defied explanation. The audience gasped and applauded, their eyes glued to his every move. But it was his final act that had everyone on the edge of their seats. He unveiled an intricate cabinet adorned with ornate carvings. The illusion was simple yet captivating. He would step into the cabinet, and with the wave of a silk-clad arm, he would vanish into thin air. The audience held their breath as Blackwood stepped into the cabinet, the doors closing with a soft click. A heartbeat passed, and then another. The audience leaned forward, waiting for the doors to swing open and reveal the magician's triumphant reappearance. But as the seconds stretched into minutes, unease rippled through the theater. The doors remained closed, and Blackwood was nowhere to be seen. A murmur of confusion swept through the crowd. I felt a surge of curiosity and concern. What had I just witnessed? Was this a part of the act or something more sinister? Without hesitation, I moved to the side of the stage and slipped behind the curtain. The cabinet stood before me, its doors firmly shut, an aura of mystery surrounding it. Gathering my courage, I pushed the doors open, half expecting to find an empty cabinet. Instead, I was met with darkness, a void that seemed to stretch beyond the confines of the wooden frame. It was as if the cabinet had become a portal to another realm. With a steadying breath, I stepped forward, my heart pounding in my chest. The world around me shifted, and suddenly I was standing in a dimly lit chamber. It was unlike any place I had ever seen, a blend of Victorian elegance and surreal dreamscapes. Before me stood Blackwood, his gaze fixed on a swirling vortex of colors that seemed to dance in the air. "Welcome, detective," he greeted me, his voice a mixture of amusement and intrigue. "What is this place?" I asked, my words carrying a mixture of wonder and apprehension. "It's a realm of possibilities," he replied enigmatically, "a place where reality and illusion blur." He explained that he had spent years perfecting an ancient incantation that allowed him to transcend the boundaries of our world and enter this ethereal realm. Here he could manipulate the fabric of reality, crafting illusions that surpassed anything achievable on the mortal plane. But there was a catch, a price to pay for wielding such power. Blackwood's connection to the realm was growing tenuous, his presence fading with each passing moment. He needed my help to return to the physical world before he became lost in the realm of his own creation. With a sense of urgency, I agreed to aid him. Blackwood instructed me on how to reverse the incantation, guiding me through the process with meticulous detail. As I recited the words and gestures, the colors around us began to swirl, the vortex drawing us back towards the cabinet in the theater. The transition was swift and disorienting. One moment I was in the otherworldly chamber, and the next, I stumbled out of the cabinet onto the theater stage. The audience gasped, their confusion and astonishment evident in their expressions. But the most surprised of all was Blackwood himself, who materialized beside me, his form flickering as if still caught between realms. As the audience erupted in applause, Blackwood and I exchanged a knowing glance. The enigma of his disappearance had been solved, but a new enigma had taken its place, an enigma of magic, reality, and the blurred lines between them. After the show, Blackwood and I retreated to a quiet corner of the theater. He confessed that his fascination with illusion had led him to unlock a power beyond his wildest dreams, but it had also come at a great cost. He had become a magician trapped between worlds, his existence straddling the boundary between the ordinary and the extraordinary. With gratitude in his eyes, he thanked me for helping him return to the physical world. He recognized that his pursuit of the enigmatic had come dangerously close to consuming him entirely. And in that moment, I realized that the greatest enigma of all was not the illusions themselves, but the journey of self-discovery that came from unraveling them. As I left the theater that night, the applause still echoing in my ears, I couldn't help but smile. The enigma of the vanishing magician had taken me on a journey beyond reality, a journey that had led to an unexpected connection, one forged between a detective seeking truth and a magician seeking to understand the nature of the impossible. The end. Story 2, The Cryptic Chess Master. The rain splattered against the window panes of the dimly lit cafe as I sat hunched over a chessboard, my gaze locked onto the intricate arrangement of black and white pieces. I was contemplating my next move, drawn into the mesmerizing dance of strategy and intellect that only a game of chess could offer. But this was no ordinary game. This was a battle of wits against the enigmatic chess master, known only as the Oracle. The Oracle had risen to fame through the clandestine world of online chess, defeating opponents with an uncanny precision that left experts baffled. No one knew their true identity, and the chess community was buzzing with speculation and admiration for their unparalleled skill. But now, a mysterious letter had arrived, challenging me to a face-to-face match, a match that held the promise of uncovering the secrets behind the Oracle's Enigma. As I studied the board, I felt a presence behind me, a shadow that seemed to materialize out of thin air. I turned to find a figure standing there, draped in a cloak that concealed their features. The voice that emanated from beneath the hood was smooth and calculated. "Are you the detective who accepted my invitation?" they inquired, their tone laced with intrigue. "I am," I replied, my curiosity piqued by the encounter. The Oracle extended a hand, revealing a black pawn. "A symbol of our game. Will you make the first move, detective?" Without hesitation, I picked up a white pawn and moved it 2 spaces forward, mirroring their pawn's movement. The Oracle's fingers danced across the board, moving a knight with precision. The game had begun, a symphony of strategy and foresight that echoed through the cafe. With each move, I felt the weight of the Oracle's reputation bearing down on me. Their moves were calculated, their choices deliberate, but I was determined not to be outwitted. As the game progressed, I realized that this was more than a battle for victory. It was a dance of intellect, a conversation between 2 minds striving to outthink each other. As the chess pieces shifted and the game evolved, the Oracle's hooded gaze remained fixed on the board, their concentration unwavering. My mind raced, analyzing possibilities, anticipating their moves, and calculating potential outcomes. The cafe seemed to fade away, the world shrinking to the 64 squares before me. The tension in the air was palpable, a fusion of anticipation and intensity. The game was reaching its climax, each move carrying the weight of strategy and fate. As I pondered my next move, a glimmer of insight struck me, an unexpected gambit that could catch the Oracle off guard. With a newfound determination, I executed my move, a bold sacrifice that left my queen vulnerable but opened up avenues of attack. The Oracle hesitated for the first time, their fingers hovering over the board. After a prolonged silence, they made their move, a calculated counter that displayed their deep understanding of the game. The spectators who had gathered around the table watched in hushed awe as the battle continued to unfold. The cafe had become a theater of the mind, a stage for the duel between 2 enigmatic figures, a detective seeking truth and a chess master seeking mastery. As the endgame drew near, I found myself in a precarious position. My pieces were dwindling, and victory seemed like an elusive dream. But then, in a flash of inspiration, I saw a sequence of moves, a series of calculated risks that could turn the tide in my favor. With a combination of adrenaline and focus, I executed the maneuvers, my heart pounding in my chest. The Oracle's response was swift, their fingers moving with a blend of precision and urgency. The spectators leaned in, their breaths held as the chessboard seemed to come alive with possibility. And then, with a final flourish, I delivered the checkmate, an unexpected combination that left the Oracle's king with no escape. A hush fell over the cafe, broken only by the sound of rain against the windows. The Oracle's hooded gaze lifted to meet mine, and for the first time I saw a glimmer of a smile beneath the shadow of their cloak. "Well played, detective," they said, their voice a mixture of admiration and respect. "You have uncovered my enigma, a puzzle that few could decipher." I extended my hand across the board, a gesture of camaraderie between adversaries, "and you have proven to be a master of strategy beyond compare." As we shook hands, the tension that had filled the room seemed to dissipate, replaced by a shared understanding of the power of intellect and the allure of mystery. The Oracle's true identity remained hidden, but in that moment, It felt as if we had unlocked a deeper connection, an unspoken bond forged through the timeless dance of chess. As I watched the oracle slip away into the shadows, I realized that some enigmas were meant to remain unsolved, shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Our game had ended, but the memory of our battle would forever linger, a testament to the enigmatic dance that had brought us together in a world where intellect reigns supreme. That's all for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to give feedback and propose new story ideas in the comments section.